emotion and objective before he approaches you. Because he hasn't done anything at the very beginning of the scene, right? So you can't just, kind of throw it in. You have to have an emotion and objective even though there's no dialogue, because you need to know where you're coming from. So you're going to catch the bus and you got to go, right? So your objective could even be like to not be late, and I don't know, maybe your emotion is determination or ambition or just something, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing I'm finished with school and I got to go home. Or maybe it's impatience or eagerness or something that has absolutely nothing to do with anything negative. Okay? So then when he approaches you and he's saying these weird things, that's new information, right? Mm-hmm. New information can cause an emotion and objective to change. It can cause both to change or one or the other or none. It's up to you. So when I think about, okay, he approaches you, how should you look? Confused. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
I don't know, curious.
Nervous. Confused. Right. Curious. Sure. And how about uncomfortable? Not being able to, as we just talked about, introvert. Not being able to deal with conflict well. So these are all the things that you factor into how you select your emotion and objective. Because if you ask yourself, what am I feeling and thinking in the scene, you've limited your choices. You're saying, I'm confused, so my emotion is confused. Now, first of all, it's a separate topic, but emotions, confusion would not be one. There are emotions that can cause one to be confused. So, in other words, I would say your emotion could be anxiety when he approaches you. Your emotion could be panic. Your emotion could be fear. And your emotion, it's possible your emotion in conflict with your objective will bring out behavior in you that would resemble one as being confused. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Emotions are feelings large enough to significantly change your life or destroy you. They are feelings that are large enough to significantly change your life or destroy you. Happy would not be defined as an emotion. Joy is. Happy is the result of joy. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
So that's why when you're picking your emotions, you really want to use the book. There's a list in there on pages 61 and 62. Use it. Use the list. It's right there. That's like your key. Your answers are right in front of you. So for a while, never pick an emotion unless it's on that list. Okay? Don't segue off onto some, tangent of like your own choice. Just use that list for now. Does that make sense? Because I need you to feel the difference so that you understand why happy doesn't do the same thing to you as joy. Joy is a more guttural, it's more powerful, it's more intense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anxiety, the same thing. Anxiety is an emotion. Nervous would not be. Nervous is the result of anxiety. Okay, now, sometimes when I deal with people where English is their second language, or even children, they don't know what bewilderment means. Okay, yeah. So like you say, I want you to do the emotion of bewilderment, and that's kind of like, I don't know what that is, and I'll say, well, that's exactly what bewilderment is. What you're doing right now, kind of lost, confused, I don't understand. That's bewilderment, right? So if that's the case, then I would be like, okay, fine, we'll use confused, because that resonates with you specifically for now. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So does anxiety work for you?
Yeah, I think that would work.
So when he approaches you, or fear, or panic.
I think
Anxiety. So he comes and approaches you, the emotion is anxiety, and your objective is going to change too. Or does it not? Is your objective to not be late? Possibly.
Yeah.
So when he approaches you, are you still thinking, don't be late, don't be late, don't be late?
Right.
Is that true?
I mean, in the beginning.
In the beginning, when he approaches you,
I have to go.
yeah, like in the very beginning, before he starts talking to you about the details of like the conversation, is it to not be late? And then when he starts talking about your grades, you seem distracted or whatever he says, does it change there?
Right.
To what?
Because then I'm like, what's happening?
What's happening? So it's still anxiety, and your objective is what? What should we see in you? Somebody confused?
Right.
Right? So we want to pick an objective that's going to make you appear in addition to anxiety, confused. So maybe your objective is to make sense of this, to understand. Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we pick it. Does that help?
Yes, it does.